Hello and welcome to the Bus by TML Studios, the latest bus simulator to be hitting the Steam market on the 25th of March 2021. So thanks to Aerosoft for providing me an early access key of the bus, and today we will be taking our first look at the Scania Citywide Solo 12-meter bus, and we will be driving it on line TXL from Alexander Platz to Tegel Flughafen. So this is my first time actually driving this bus, so it is first impressions as well for me. So let's get going. I have the weather set to dynamic, so the rain's going to cut off at some point. So dynamic basically means it changes about. Jeff Rooney, Ollie, 7-star, Skies, 7-star again, PC on Omsi. Hello, good to see you all. How are you all today? Hope all is good. Let me know if the game volume's too loud or too low. I can adjust it accordingly because I think outside it's a bit loud. So I'm quite excited to showcase you what this features, so let's get going. So Sensor, this looks like Bus Sim 18, yeah, because this is built on the Unreal Engine 4. So pretty much all simulators these days, not all but most, are built on the Unreal Engine 4. For instance, Phone Bus, Tourist Bus, Tram Sim, Train Sim World 2. So pretty much the graphics will always look fairly similar, because it is quite a good engine. It's very well optimized, so you'll notice the game runs very smoothly. K13, when you said solo, I thought we were going to be watching Omsi, lol. Yeah, so there won't be any Omsi streams till probably Thursday or Saturday, depending. So I don't know how much we want to see of the bus, but I probably plan to stream this tomorrow or Tuesday as well, because we're going to do the depot run, and then... Okay, I've messed up the views here, bear with me. I think I'm too zoomed in, that's why. So then, depending on that, we'll see when we stream Omsi again. But Omsi is still going to stay on the channel. So here we are, we're going to set up our ticket printer. This is how we set up our route as well. So once we log into the ticket machine, it sets up our route. Jeff, I think this bus now everyone try, and guess why? Yeah, I wonder why everyone tried this bus, because I actually did all my videos with the LFC. We got this like last Thursday week. So this was actually added in like, I think yesterday, the day before. Okay. We're all good to go. Let's open up the doors. Welcome on board. And then let's just turn on the wipers as well. This game looks good. Yeah, it's very good. I really like the game. I'm not sure if you've watched the review there. I've given basically my full insights into the game. But yeah, I think it's definitely a very strong contender with Omsi 2. And especially once people start modding stuff. So in phase 2, which is probably going to be in about 6 months time. Once the modding tools are released, I am sure there will be a lot of stuff to watch out for. So yeah, definitely a promising game. I think this is probably like the first bus simulator that even comes close to contending with Omsi 2, because it has a real life map, as you can see here. You know, the modeling gen is quite good, the buses are accurate. Sounds and physics do need a bit of improvement, but still, the modding community is there. So I think overall this probably does have the potential to overtake Omsi 2, definitely. And maybe I'm going to ask, make a UK mod of it maybe next month. I'm getting a Raspberry Pi, just added a Optiplex. Ah, nice. Transport, look, hello, welcome, how are you today? So, now, let's take down, go into gear, remove the handbrake, and away we go. Here is our bus as well, in the TXL. There you go. This bus is also an Omsi 2, so it'd be interesting. I plan to do a comparison video at some point between the bus here in the bus and an Omsi 2, just to see how they behave differently. I think model-wise they look identical, except obviously here the texture quality is better because the Unreal Engine 4 is just better. This is 64-bit as well, so I know a lot of people were asking if this is 64-bit. Yes, it is indeed. Also, this is a bit early for you to be streaming. Yes, it is quite early. However, unfortunately, Sundays are not very convenient days for me. That's why I don't really tend to stream on Sunday. So it's either streaming now or at like 10 o'clock. So I decided now would be a better time to stream. It will also be a relatively short stream. We're just going to do this line to Tegel Flughafen, and then that will be it. But tomorrow or Tuesday, we're probably streaming on both days. We will do a proper like stream of this, and we'll also go to the depot, because the depot is also featured. I do have a video out of the depot as well for tomorrow, but we'll see. 7-star, and obviously my favorite bus is Evo City. Oh really? I used to kind of like the Evo City, but now it's kind of, I kind of like it less. It's kind of the opposite of grown, whatever that is. It's kind of, yeah, I've kind of lost I don't know, it's just too slow for me. K13, the bus looks really good graphically, but personally won't be playing it until UK stuff is released. Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Like, they have said that the early access is really best for people who want to actually give their input on what can be improved, because it's not a full release. So yeah, in that case, I mean, the full release is going to be in a year and a half time, so by that time perhaps we will have some UK content out there, so then might be a good time to start. TXL and MC, they need a 32-bit version. Do they? I don't think they do. Why would they need a 32-bit version? Would seem rather unnecessary. Personally, anyway. Because there's no real benefit to having a 32-bit version, I feel. The benefit really... Are we going the right way? Because the benefit of like 32-bit is basically... It's just an old thing. It's before 64-bit was invented. So yeah, I wouldn't say we need the 32-bit in my opinion. Let's pretend the red light transport just ran us. Did I run a red light? No, I didn't. I stopped at the red lights. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, let's go into the... Here's the cab view as well. There's the Scania. There goes the Scania. Okay, let's go back into the normal cab. Jeff, so this is what Omsi could be with Unreal Engine 4 and 64-bit. MC, the Unreal Engine 4 now is an interesting one because some people don't like it for simulators. Like some people say the Unreal Engine 4 shouldn't be used for simulators. It's actually kind of interesting because it's one of those things where I think people actually prefer if simulators have their own engine, because the Unreal Engine 4, don't really think it's intended for simulator, but like it works. Like it creates good graphics. That's its main advantage, and it's well optimized. But the Unreal Engine 4 obviously has its drawbacks as well, so it's kind of all relative. But you know, at the end of the day, we'll have bus simulators that use this, we'll have bus simulators that don't, so I guess people who have different tastes will be able to basically adjust to what this bus simulator they play accordingly. What are you talking about? I stopped at the red light. There was a second red light just before the bus stop. Okay, I'll have to take a look in the replay then. Not off to a great start. Yeah, this is what it looks like in the rain. I think the rain... Definitely rain looks better in this game than in the Omsi 2, because the Unreal Engine 4 I actually think looks better in the rain than actually when it's sunny. Because I think when it's sunny, the lighting's a bit off, in my opinion. Okay, we've kind of missed the bus stop quite a bit. So, off we go. But yeah. PFG Gaming, the stream is so laggy, or is it the game? Is the stream laggy? It shouldn't be laggy, I don't know. Let me check. Yeah, it's probably the stream rather than the game, because this is kind of pushing my CPU to the limits, but I have set my processing priority to high, so I would be a bit surprised if it's laggy. I am running this on a low-spec PC, so this is kind of pushing my PC to the limits. The issue is, though, I can't actually get a new GPU because of the shortages, so yeah, I'm a bit stuck with the 1050 that I have. Let me just check my settings. Processing priority is set to... Yeah, it's set to the highest. It's probably because I'm streaming on 1080p. That's why. Charlie Williams, hello. How are you? Good to see you here. Hope all is well. Also, let me know what the mic quality is. I think the mic quality is a bit dodgy. It's lagging badly. Okay, let me fix... I think I know what to do then. So if it's lagging, we'll just have to turn down the resolution. Yeah, just gonna pull over here. And let me turn off the... Yeah, because I don't think it's the... Where is this video? Yeah, actually, I can't change it during stream, damn it. I don't think it's the actual internet, because there's no errors showing. But see, I'm watching it here and it's kind of seems to be running fine. Fine for me. Okay, I think it's just people's internet then. It's probably trying to stream on 1080p. I suggest putting it down to 720p, because I am watching this on my phone as well, and it's pretty much... It doesn't seem to be too laggy. There's a bit of stuttering, but that's just really the game for me, because it's on a lower end PC. But yeah, it should be fine, really. Omsi to Explorer, hello, how are you? Good to see you here. It's not even lagging that much, yeah. Jeffrey, you have the game. Omsi to Explorer, I will 100% not be getting this. How come? How come? What don't you like about it? I don't know, I quite like it. I was looking forward to this since it got announced last August in the next sim event. Because I think it's good to actually have a bus simulator with a real life map, because a lot of these simulators, I think they kind of miss the trick when they don't include a real life map, because like Bus Sim 21 is just going to be a fictional city. So I don't really envisage Bus Sim 21 really contending with Omsi 2, whereas this Berlin is really nice, especially that the area we passed, Alexander Platz. It's very accurate. Just sort of like Omsi 2. Yeah, this is optimized much better than Omsi 2 though. It runs a lot better than Omsi 2. It generally doesn't crash. It only crashes if your GPU runs out of VRAM. So again, it's... But like, you know, You definitely won't be able to run this on integrated graphics, I'll say that, but it runs quite well, you know. I've only had it crash once or twice when I kind of pushed my GPU to the limits, but apart from that, it's run pretty well. K13, yeah, it's probably the Wi-Fi. Yeah, because that's the thing. I recently changed it to 1080p because people requested 1080p, and we are kind of in the age where 1080p is the standard. So perhaps if people are trying to stream on 1080p, their download speeds may not be fast enough to actually be able to stream 1080p smoothly. I am good, Charlie. How are you? How are you? Hope you're the same. It's just too gaming, unlike Omsi 2. Yeah, I was gonna say this is kind of like TSW 2, and then Omsi 2 is kind of like Train Simulator 2021. Because it does kind of have the gaming feel. I think that's kind of one of the elements of the Unreal Engine 4 is that it kind of makes it feel like a game generally. But you know, I think Omsi 2 is aging and something needs to replace it, and I definitely think this is probably the strongest contender because it does have the map tools.
Charity Campus.
I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I think the Unreal Engine 4 does tend to make things seem a bit gamey, but when is the next Omsi 2 stream? I'm not too sure now, because I don't know what's up with my minimap. It's not really showing me where the stops are. Okay, so I've missed like 2 or 3 stops. I'll actually stop at them now. Just the minimap is being a bit strange for me. The next Omsi 2 stream, so we're going to be streaming the bus again tomorrow or on Tuesday. And then based on that, I'll see if you guys want more of the bus, I'll stream more of the bus. If you guys just want to go back to Omsi 2, I'll go back to Omsi 2. So basically depends. The next Omsi 2 stream will also be Addon London because I know that's quite popular and it's been a while since we've done that. Imagine AOL on the bus. Yes, a lot of people. I'm sure someone will make an Addon London for the bus because it will definitely be heavily requested. Indeed, it'd be nice to have Addon London in the bus because I think in terms of map, like it does have the capability to make the map feel very alive. Because in Omsi 2, you know how in the distance there's just nothingness and the objects look, you know, there's objects disappear and you just see like a white space. With this, London can basically be done a lot more justice because you can see the basically depth of field is much further in this game than in the Omsi 2. So you know, stuff like Westminster can be viewed from much further away, which would just add to the experience, I think. So yeah, it'd be very nice to see an iconic city like London, and pretty much any capital city really, or even not capital city. You can see that television tower usually from quite far back, but I think because of the rain, probably we won't be able to see it. Obviously, to explore, I would only really play it if it has some UK maps coming. Yeah, I'm not sure what's the story with RHD, because people have been asking if it's going to get RHD or not. At the moment, it's LHD, but I don't know. I am curious to see if RHD will be implementable. I would reckon it would be, because it shouldn't be like too difficult to implement, but like I think this will be down to modders, because the devs themselves will probably only focus on LHD stuff, but of course there'll be other people in the community who will probably focus on you know, RHD stuff. But I would say like it'd be probably a year before we even start to see UK stuff, because obviously making a map will probably take a while. Oh, I think I was meant to stop. Oh no, here. Yeah, because I think it'll be at least a year before, because it takes probably 6 months to make a map, something like that. With Omsi 2, it took, I think, how many years did it take with Omsi 2 until the UK map started to come out? I think it was 3 years, so yeah. Just to put stuff into perspective. K13 out of London in the bus would look 100 times better. Yes, it would. Because that's the issue with Omsi 2, is like, in terms of maps, like, they could be detailed for sure, but again, the more detailed they are, the laggier it is. Whereas here, like, if you're going through Brixton, you wouldn't have the bus jumping, anything like that. So yeah, this certainly, I think Omsi 2 has the advantages of like the buses, but when it comes to map making, this will certainly trump it. Like, when I say buses, in terms of sounds and physics. But that's really the only 2 things I think Omsi 2 kind of beats the bus, and everything else I think the bus has the stronger hand, as I kind of said in the review video, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. Charlie, I swear all you play is Omsi London. When you play that, it's oh, I see. Do you right? Because I know it used to be the case, like especially January and February, but actually the last London stream we did was like we kind of did one a week, because I think the last Omsi 2 streams we did were Yorkshire. I don't tend to do LHD maps because even though I like them, a lot of people who are into UK content don't seem to like the LHD maps. Well, if you want, I can do something else than Addon London. I don't mind. But Addon London seems to be the most popular still. So even 3 months after it's been released, it's still fairly popular. Version 1.2 of it's also going to come out soon. So then again, we'll probably be focusing on that again once that happens. UKTD should transfer West Country 3 to the bus, so Omsi and the bus both have West Country version 3. Yeah, unfortunately, because the engines are completely different, they basically have to rebuild the whole map from scratch. Sorry about that. And let's just click shift. At least with this bus it's actually easy to reverse, because with the Citywide it's actually a nightmare if you get stuck. But luckily there's also some cheats here. You can click, I think it's, you can go in the menu, and if you, there's a certain option that basically respawns the bus onto the road if you ever get stuck. What does the minimap remind me of Fernbus? This, yeah, I haven't played Fernbus myself, but I did see like quickly a few videos of it, because people were saying this looks a lot like Fernbus. And yeah, it basically has this pretty much the same layout as Fernbus, because the settings are the same as Fernbus and Tourist Bus. So TML those seem to have the consistency, where basically the layout and the way the interface and the overlays are pretty much the same across all the simulators. What am I printing? Yeah, AD. And then let's close the doors. Charlie, I think some maps in Omsi 2 are better than this in this game. Yeah, I mean, again, it's all relative, I guess. I myself am quite impressed with the map. I think it's very detailed. I think the map is probably like the biggest selling point of the simulator, at least in my opinion. But Omsi 2 has some very superb maps as well. It has some really detailed maps. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's why Omsi 2 has had such a dominant market share. It's just, you know, it's just that good, really. Last Omsi stream was the Yorkshire version 1. Yes, it was. We were actually doing a lot of Yorkshire version 1. We're basically finished with Yorkshire version 1 now, because... yeah, we're basically finished with Yorkshire version 1, because we've done all the routes, and it wasn't too immensely popular either. And also the AI buses. Do we stop here? What's another issue? Oh no, we don't. Okay, so now we're going express. So now there's a bunch of stops to just skip. JXSH, I feel this game doesn't have realistic feel that Omsi 2 does. Yes, so I guess what you mean by that is the physics. Yeah, I think the physics and the sounds definitely need some improvement, because I do think the engine sounds are a bit too generic. They kind of remind me of like the ETS2 sounds, or they kind of, I don't know, they don't really have the character. But then again, V3D is actually working on Enviro 500 MMC, so it'll be interesting to see how he manages to implement them. But this is also early access, so we'll have to see in full release how, you know, how things are at the end. Also, look at that. The cars make, whatchamacallit? The cars, when they're passing the road, they trail like droplets of water, so that's also pretty realistic. Another nice feature over Omsi 2. I think the benefit of this is it's just actually modern, because Omsi 2 is outdated. That's really it at the end of the day. But anyway, Omsi 2 Explorer, how many maps does this come with? This comes with only one map, Berlin. But the map, so at the moment, this is early access phase 1, so it only has line TXL. But then phase 2 will have lines 200 and 100, 200 and 245, and then phase 2 will also have line 100. All of these are free updates, and also the game will increase in price, I think, in every phase. So now's your chance to basically get it for the cheapest, which is €25.95, which I think is very good value for the game. Because compared to other simulators that use the Unreal Engine 4 and the amount of content this will offer, it actually, at the moment, it works out fairly cheap. You know, because obviously you're getting rewarded for purchasing it early. The earlier bird special, so to speak. Omsi navigation kind of reminds me of the minimap on the ETS2. Yeah, it kind of does as well. Actually, yeah, it's very similar to the ETS2 minimap. I wonder why Omsi 2 never used the minimap, because the waypoint system is quite strange. It's quite confusing, the one they use in Omsi 2. So yeah, this comes with one map, but again, there is modding tools. They also said they will be working on DLCs, and I think they've kind of hinted that they want to have drivable trams in the future as well. Perhaps that's something they might consider. So, but yeah, at the moment there's one, but I'd say there's going to be people who are going to make freeware maps. It'd be interesting to see if it's integrated with the Steam Workshop. There hasn't really been any word, or if it's going to be external. Who knows? Or if even they set up a special, if they set up a special site for modders like the Omsi 2 community did. They do seem to be very engaged with the community, so... And you can even send them feedback via the game, so yeah, they do listen. They're quite good in that regard. Okay. Jeff Rooney, wonder how many Omsi 2 devs will move to the bus. See, the issue there, I think, is the fact that the bus is an Unreal Engine 4, so basically the way this will work is anyone who has experience with the Unreal Engine 4 will be able to create mods for this fairly easily. I do think they use Blender to make buses, but I know V3D has moved over to the bus, so that was kind of an indication to me that, you know, he has faith that this will overtake the Omsi 2, and obviously since he's one of the main Omsi 2 devs, it kind of indicates that there is faith in it. So yeah, but again, I think the thing is, because UKDT was talking about if they're going to move to Lotus and instead they're going to stick to Omsi 2 because they have the skills. I think it's really going to be a matter of they will only move if Omsi 2 really kind of starts to decline, and basically they're forced to, I'd say, because there's a learning curve. There's a period of time where there will be a bit not very productive because they have to learn the steep learning curve of the game. Well, not the steep learning curve of the game, but I mean of the Unreal Engine 4, so we don't even stop at this stop. Okay. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see. Yeah, I doubt Reese will now move over to this to do Addon London again. I think 5 years of working on Addon London was enough for him, probably. Okay. So I'm used to the Omsi 2 keybinds. I didn't change the view mirror because it's also to turn left. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. K13, sorry that I'm a bit behind the chat as well, because I'm in my head I think they look similar. Yeah, they do actually. I just realized it's the fact is I haven't actually played ETS 2 in about 3 or 4 months, so I've kind of forgotten. But now that you mentioned it, yeah, it looks pretty much identical, except that you can't change it to a larger size like an ETS 2. When I say larger size, it shows you like a GPS thing. They also call the settings of smartphones for some reason, which is a bit strange. TFL Stagecoach, I can't wait for the bus to be released, because if you go on settings and set the traffic up to the to the highest. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this turn and then I'll look at that, because trying to turn while also reading the chat is basically a nightmare. It's a recipe for disaster. If you go on the settings and set the traffic up to the highest point, you will feel the realism on graphics too. Yes, exactly. I have my AI traffic set to 60. I find that generally if you lower it, actually lowers it quite a bit, but if you have it on the 100, you do tend to have more AI cars about. And yeah, that's the other thing with Omsi 2 is, you know, you can only really have 100 AI cars about, because else lag starts to be induced. Now I'm not sure if it's 100 as in a percentage or 100 as in 100 vehicles, because it doesn't actually specify in the game. In this game it is. In this game that is. So it just says 100. So if that's a percentage or if a number, a quantity, I don't know. Honestly, a few people will move on. I don't know, because I think it's kind of the early stages, but yeah. It's really going to be a matter of seeing what the reception is and how many people like the game and how many people prefer Omsi 2. I think, yeah, it's all going to be about the reception. But where did this truck come out of? K13 though, I'm probably going to stick with Omsi for now. Yeah, I mean, on the channel, I'm gonna continue doing Omsi 2 content. I'll continue doing content of the bus, you know, as it evolves through the phases. But I'd say once we kind of, after this week, I say we probably won't be doing much of the bus until probably like whenever phase 2 comes out, because really once you do the TXL, all the buses show the depot. That's really all there is to it at the current moment, because it's just early access. Basically, at the moment, it's just to give people a taster, just to see how it performs and to give feedback. So it's not really at the release stage yet. I'd say phase 2 is when we will probably see more people moving over to the bus once the modding tools are out and people can have more of a play around and trial. They seal on MC, they need Berlin X10. I mean, the 100's there, so I think some of the areas in Berlin X10 are here. Interestingly enough, Lotus are making the Line 100, and for some reason they're also doing the Line 100 in the bus, which I find quite interesting. It's as if they're trying to directly compete with Lotus, but the Man Yellow 5 won't be added. The brakes on this also seem to be weaker than on the Citywide, but actually it is raining. Jeff, I swear most bus sims are set in Berlin. Yes, that is true, because most of these like bus sim development studios are set in Germany. Now TML did actually talk a bit about why they chose Berlin. Basically, they said they wanted a city that has landmarks as well recognizable, and that kind of led them to Berlin. But yeah, Berlin is always the city of choice. Well, not always, but it's probably the most popular city of choice. Now, which way are we going? JXSH. Does this game have a feature like Omsi Editor? It will in phase 2. So at the moment there's a timetable editor, so you can edit the timetables. So you can add in tours, you can also edit routes. But in phase 2 there will be a full map editor, so yes, it will. So that's another reason why I think it has a very strong chance and, you know, potential to contend with Omsi 2, is because it has the modding tools. I think also it actually has modding tools for making buses as well. Because in Omsi 2 you have to make buses externally. They've mentioned something about being able to make buses for this. So again, yeah, lots of modding tools will be released eventually. Ah, exact change. That's the first time I see someone giving me exact change. And she wants an ABC. You can't turn off ticket selling, I don't think, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, I will read the chat now. I just need to focus here on these tickets. If I could turn this off, I would. Or maybe I don't know where it is in the settings. There's €1 change, and okay. TFL Stagecoach. Lotus the most expensive simulator, but as it improves, it costs 28 rather than £40. Yeah, Lotus. See, Lotus. The thing is, one is a bit confused about the pricing because Lotus isn't actually affiliated with Aerosoft or a publisher, and publishers tend to take 20 to 30% of the revenue. So what that means is it's actually more expensive than Omsi 2, even though with Omsi 2 it's actually making less money than if they priced Lotus at 30. So yeah, it is a ridiculously priced Lotus, and I don't know. Lotus is something I've kind of, I think they've kind of angered so much of the community that I don't really think it has a chance to overtake Omsi 2 because there's just too many people have, you know, been infuriated with Lotus. But yeah, leave it at that. K13, are you going to do a stream on ETS2? I will probably do it at some point. Oh yeah, there we go, the rain turned off. As you can see, there's dynamic weather, so that's another nice feature. The rain turns off by itself, so you don't have to turn it off. You don't have to turn it off like an Omsi 2. If you put in dynamic weather, it turns off by itself. You keep precipitation on, it stays on all the time. Yeah, also here anti-aliasing is, yeah, this is the thing. You do need a fairly powerful GPU to be able to run this with nice graphics. Anyway, but yeah, do we want to see ETS2? I did do a few ETS2 streams, but they weren't very popular, but I might redo it at some point. Yeah, probably like via Convoy. Javed, there's a pigeon, watch out. Ah yes, the pigeons have flown from Omsi 2. They've migrated to the bus. Now it's the players to follow suit. Pigeons are everywhere these days. Yeah, seagulls as well. Lone MC, alright, gotta go. The Scania Citywide release for Pro and Bus Simulator is here by, oh, is it? On the same day of the bus? Huh, pretty neat. Oh, it's red. Oops. Don't worry, we're not gonna run the red light there. Oh. Jared, if the more ways to edit routes timetables, people will be likely to buy, I think. Yes, that's the thing. It has the customizability. And I think it's also more user-friendly than the Omsi editor. Because you can actually, a lot of the stuff in the Omsi editor, which you have to edit with scripts, here you can edit in the game. Like, for instance, if you click ESC and you click this thing, you can adjust your driver view. So in Omsi 2, you have to go into a notepad file. You have to wait 10 minutes for the game to load. Whereas here, you can oh, I broke my settings. So I think I clicked automatic recenter and I don't want that, so let me just fix that. But yeah, so that's the other thing. A lot of the stuff that needs to be scripted in Omsi 2 here is easily settable. So I haven't looked at the route editor, but I think it's much easier to use as well. Recenter wheel. Where is this? There we go. I hate having the wheel recenter. It's meant to be easier. Okay, I think I turned that off, but oh, I'm on mouse steering, that's why. So I accidentally turned on mouse steering. Let me figure out how to turn off mouse steering. Sorry about that. K13, even with your 1050 game still looks really good. Yeah, it looks really good. The only issue with the 1050 is like when you stop, it looks brilliant, especially when you're outside. I find with this game, everything looks a bit better outside than inside. The only issue with the 1050 is when you're moving, it doesn't look great, especially at high speeds. So how do I turn off mouse steering? Sorry, I don't know how I've turned on mouse steering, and it's really annoying. Really annoying. Back. Game. Oh, center camera when driving. Never mind. So I'm just gonna find where recenter wheel is and then we'll continue onwards. Oh, it's in controls probably. Yeah, sorry about this. Recenter wheel. Where's recenter wheel? Javed, is this GTA 6 lol? Ah yes, GTA 6. Is GTA 6 been confirmed? Because I hear a lot of people talking about it, but I'm not sure if it's actually confirmed or not. Okay, why is the bus off? Okay, yeah, I've turned on wheel steering. Now I need to figure out how to turn this off. Because or else we won't be able to drive. What is going on here? Ah, there we go. Never mind, figured it out. I clicked. Basically, the way you activate the mouse steering is with the middle mouse button. Sorry about that. Let me just start up the bus and then we'll be off. Yeah, my apologies about that. Now, also, the engine switched off. Okay. Lots of oversteering, lots of correcting the wheel. Yes, I accidentally clicked the middle mouse button, which turned on the mouse steering, which basically messed everything up. Oh, the engine's not on yet. Come on, start up, start up. Okay, there we go. We're off. Yep. We're back on track. We're back on track. Not to worry. So we're almost finished the TXL as well. So that's a nice and short stream just to showcase the solo. Do let me know how much more we want to see of the bus. So we'll do another stream of it just so we can see the depot. We'll probably do like a depot run. But then after that, let me know what the verdict is. Okay, this is a bit confusing, sorry. The thing is, you click the same, you have to hold the button the second time, so sometimes I end up actually turning off the engine. I think you can disable these cameras as well. If you play ETS2 multiplayer, and you're going to drive the Cali to Duisburg and see the road, I advise keeping distance from drivers in front of you because they slam in a lot. Yes, I thought they're pretty strict with the rules on the Truckers MP. I'm guessing this is Truckers MP because that's the main server for it, isn't it? But I don't know. I know people thought you weren't even allowed to speed. I was like, you know, you're allowed to speed, it's just not encouraged. But yeah, that's the one where there's most people, because that's the thing. You kind of want to be with these people, because otherwise it feels very dead, because the roads are empty, so it's quite boring without the air traffic. But apparently SCS was working on a... Apparently they were working on a multiplayer themselves for ETS2, but we'll see what happens. K13, because the CD road is the most dangerous road in ETS2 multiplayer. Ah, yes. What's the most dangerous road in ETS2 that's in-game, like, based off real life? Oh, yep, sorry about that. Now we're just gonna use the cheat. We're gonna replace the bus here. I'm not gonna bother reversing. How different is this to Omsi 2? It's quite different, like, I would say. I mean, in terms of like model quality, it's exactly the same because they're both modeled very well. But, you know, it does feel different. Like driving a bus in this game feels quite different to driving a bus in Omsi 2 because there's not as much emphasis on sounds, so basically there's that to it. Also, I find the steering, the sensitivity is different, but yeah, and the graphics obviously are much different. The loading times on this are like 1 minute compared to 10, so yeah, it's quite different, I'd say. You know, especially if you don't use the keybinds. I've set the keybinds, which kind of makes it a bit more like Omsi 2. Yes, I'm on about Truckers MP. Yes, I thought so, yeah. I know there's another one, but I can't remember what the other one's called. There we go. Yeah, we're almost at Tegel. Oh, she wants a ticket. Whoops. Ah, hello, hello. But yeah, as you can see, the ticket selling even feels pretty much like Omsi 2. Oh, I'm not allowed to sell a ticket while in motion. I have to open the doors. Whoops. JXSH roads are a bit too bumpy on this game. Yes, that is actually something I mentioned myself. I think, like, it is good that they have a bump map, which basically means that it simulates rattling and the bus bumping. But I do feel that they've kind of overdone it a bit because the bus rattles a bit too much. But to be fair, because I played this last week, and then because that was the early alpha stage, and then played it again this week, and there's definitely a vast improvement because it was even more rattly. Like before today, because I hadn't played in like a week before today, it was rattling all the time. So they've definitely improved it. So perhaps as the game evolves, they'll improve it even more. I find the roads are a bit narrow as well, but I think it's kind of the same with X10. The roads just in Berlin are quite narrow, so you have to be quite skilled driver. When I say narrow, I mean the lanes are narrow, not the roads. The roads aren't narrow, I mean the lanes. So generally, if you're in a lane which is designated, you'll find that the bus barely fits in. K13, I have a Discord bot that gives me my notification when streaming. Something happens on an ETS2 multiplayer server, and 99% of the time it's a notification saying accident on the road. Ah, nice. Adds to the realism, yeah. I'd say a lot of people get banned because I know they really don't like people like driving recklessly. Yeah. But yeah, another solo was also released recently for Omsi 2, so it's interesting to see how different they are, but they kind of look the same, really. Oh yes, I have to give her the ticket still. She's still standing there. Hello. Yep, there we go. There is also a thing that has like a grey bus up, but that makes it feel too much like a mobile phone game, so I disabled that. If only Omsi has multiplayer. Ah, yes, I forgot to mention that actually. I even forgot to mention in the video. There will be multiplayer. In phase 2, there will be multiplayer. So you'll actually be able to play with other people. So that's also going to be quite interesting. So once multiplayer is out and if you guys get the bus, then we might do like a multiplayer of it as well. I think it'd be quite interesting. Well, I don't know how many of you like Berlin, but I quite like the Berlin map. I think I've actually been on this route in real life. I only realized recently. But yeah, I wonder, I'd say for multiplayer, you definitely need to have a fairly high-end PC because that'll be even more demanding. The other thing is also, there's going to be an economy mode as well, so I think there's going to be the BCS element. Oh, I think perhaps people will be able to have their own online company as well. I'm not too sure, I haven't looked into it. I'd say people will be more interested in the multiplayer being able to drive while there's others around the map. And hopefully the AI cars will work then. I mean, because like in ETS2 for some reason they can't get the AI cars working on multiplayer, but that's because it's solo devs, I guess, and aren't really affiliated with SCS. Javed, I would be better. I think if it was Paris and not Berlin, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do think Berlin is... It is kind of like... It is definitely done a lot, so people... It's kind of like... For some people, it's probably not as exciting because it's in Omsi 2, it's in Lotus, it's in other simulators as well. Like, there's a few German maps in... I think there's a German map also in Train Sim World 2, the Aachen line, isn't there? Well, I guess it's a good starting point because nonetheless, a lot of people recognize Berlin. It's got all the main landmarks. And the other benefit of this is like, you know, people will be able to make their own maps. So I don't know if that's going to be something they're going to have in Bus Sim 21. Doesn't sound like it. So again, there's another plus, I guess. I wonder what speed of the traffic's going, the car's going at. What's the speed limit here? But yeah, it would be nice to have some more maps, definitely. But perhaps one will make a Paris map, you never know.
Flughafen Tegel.
People were saying that Addon, London, and Grand Prix Milan have pushed Omsi to the limits, so I guess it's the perfect time for a new bus simulator to be released. Bus World actually will have a very... Bus World is also another bus simulator that's coming soon. That hasn't been getting a lot of press. Yeah, this is another thing when you're in low light, it kind of gets pixelated, as I mentioned in the review video. But Bus World will have Chernobyl and I think a map that's based on China. Nope, it's this way around. This line's interesting because sometimes it takes me like 20 minutes, like 30 minutes to do. Sometimes it takes me like 50 minutes to do. But yeah, I'd say probably we'll do one more stream of this, probably on Monday or Tuesday, doing a depot run, and then perhaps maybe on Thursday, and we'll go back to Omsi 2 because I do think currently, you know, there's only the line TXL, so don't want to overdo it and have loads of videos as well. So do let me know. I'll ask in the Discord as well. Do you want to? How much more do you want to see this on stream? Is like one more stream enough, like for now, or do you want like 2 or 3? Or yeah. So yeah, do let me know that. This is another thing I like in Omsi 2 there's backdrops, which is basically like 2D trees. So it kind of looks a bit less realistic, I find. So this is the thing, everything here is 3D as well, which I think is a benefit because it kind of shows its age and everything's 2D in Omsi 2. As you read, multiplayer mode challenge, catch the pigeons, first pigeons win, yes. Yeah, the only thing is like, the pigeons will probably be imaginary, so people will be like, oh yes, I caught all the pigeons. And speaking of pigeons, there's the airport. So back in the, back when I say back in the day, this is like centuries ago, you'd have pigeons sending the messages, wasn't it? I wonder if they're going to add in AI planes, because they said they're going to add in AI trains and buses, but it'd be nice to have AI planes as well. But there is actually a Lufthansa plane in the background. Obviously, multiplayer, we can only dream. Yes, exactly. To be honest, I don't think Omsi 2 would actually be able to handle multiplayer, because would you need more RAM for that? So yeah, I'd say that's just out of question anyway. JXSH, if they added a bit more contrast and darkness, it would be a bit more realistic. It's just a little too bright for me. You can actually change the contrast. So if you go here in settings and you go to contrast, I actually can't find the right settings. Like it is a bit annoying because I don't know what's the right setting really. But yeah, you can change the contrast. You can also bump it up. The contrast is set to the lowest, but yeah. Do let me know what kind of settings you want to use. But I think these ones are okay because I don't like when it's too bright, but you're saying it's actually too bright. Well, I think when you up the contrast, it also looks a bit artificial. I don't know. That's the one thing I'm finding it difficult there. Yeah, I'm not sure how the physics on the hill are. It doesn't really, like, compared to Omsi 2, I definitely don't think it recognizes gradient changes as well. Yeah, there's a Lufthansa plane. Burst strike, watch out. Damn pigeon, yeah. Loads of people walking around, yeah, exactly. Nice to see that they're not 2D. if they make Omsi 3, we may have a chance of multiplayer. I mean, I think Lotus, which is basically Omsi 3 because it's made by one of the developers of Omsi 2, which was a duo team. Now, which way are we meant to? I think this is the terminus. Oops. So, yeah, I think then it has a chance of happening. But, yeah, Lotus will have multiplayer, actually, but I don't know. We'll see. I think graphically this is better than Lotus. I don't know. So this is Omsi 2. No, this is the bus by TML. So this is by the same developers as Fernbus. This is a new simulator that is probably going to contend with Omsi 2. So now let's switch off the engine. Oh, first set the gear in neutral. And this is line TXL. So this is the airport. Yeah, so this is the airport here. This is it. Now, it takes the passengers a while to start getting off. Like, even though at the last stop, just to watch how long it's going to take them. They're going to start getting off now, I think. Come on. This is Flughafen. Why are you not getting off? No back window. I kind of find this a bit odd with the plastic at the back, but I guess that's how it is in real life. And the other thing about this is you can walk around. So technically, we could walk this whole route on foot if we wanted to. Looks good. Yeah, it's quite good. I quite like it. It's, you know... Definitely I need to look at the contrast settings. I actually had them perfect and then I played around with them a bit and I've messed them up. What I'll do is one of the streams, I'll keep changing them and let you, and you guys can tell me what you think are the best settings. JXSH. Obviously too bad than the bus better than Lotus. Yes, I mean, we'll be interesting to see when it's full release what happens. Oh, look at that. You can even see inside the buildings. I wonder if it'll be possible to walk inside the depot at some point. But yeah, this is it. This is line TXL. I don't know why they're not getting off, but sure look it. And yeah, let's just take a look how much further we can explore. I will be probably streaming this if there's a stream tomorrow, if not on Tuesday, and we'll probably drive the Citywide, the LF, and we'll drive it from here to, well, I don't know which way we'll drive it, and then we'll go to the depot as well. Probably drive it in the day. Yeah, there is I think that's a Boeing 737. Lufthansa. Yep, there you go. Oh, the escalator. Oh yeah, the escalators work. Look at that. Isn't that neat? There's also actually going to be in phase 3 like a tunnel you can walk through, so there's going to be some stuff about walking around as well. Yeah, this is not major, exactly. But yeah, folks, that's really it. Hope you enjoyed the first glimpse of the bus by TML. Some nice features there with the escalator. And yeah, do let me know how much more of this we want to see on stream. Do we want to see one more stream or more than that? Let me know in the Discord, wherever. And that's it for now. Until next time. Bye for now. Okay, sorry, Javed just asked, can you get in the airport on the runway? I don't think so. I don't actually think there's a runway. So it's just a taxiway. Yeah, so there's no runway, I don't think. So yeah. But anyway, until next time.